Hello, let's see what's going on here. I am sending you, wow, 5-5, a lot of love, peace, joy, happiness, self-appreciation, hoping that you find love for yourself. 2 of Wands, Chariot, beautiful. Very Cancerian, 9 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, Temperance, 2 of Pentacles. So there's been a lot of I'm gonna say energies. Oh, okay. Wow. I haven't had a reading that's all upright cards in a very, very long time. Like I will say, I think probably the last 50 readings I've done, the majority of them have had all of the cards reversed. So we do have 8 of Cups reversed on the bottom, which it's the way we like to see it if we think and wonder if someone's coming back. I'd say this person has had, your masculine's had a lot of confusion about it's not head versus heart. It's more like spirit versus their physical body. And they're kind of keeping their physical desires to go towards you and let you know. This is such a cute reading. Okay. They've been keeping them locked up is where they've been keeping them. Interesting, we got walking away here. I think this energy in down the middle, and then we have 2 of our favorite cards. Look, and another, like, it's a really like a 2 of Swords energy to me with these 2 different paths. Okay. This is about someone wanting to tell you why they walked away from you. And you probably have been, I feel like we've gotten this message a lot. And I feel like it has been heavily on their mind for a period of time. The 2 of Wands especially makes me feel like they have been going back and forth over and over again. Should I or shouldn't I? And then we have the white and the black horse. And then we have her walking on the tightrope. And then we have her kind of keeping a torch lit. These aren't what these cards mean, but I'm intuiting here that there's been a lot of going back and forth. What should I do? Oh my gosh, we got gold and silver together. Purple and blue. Blue, gray, and mint. A lot of fantasizing, and then salmon on the bottom, which is my mother card, and mauve. A lot of fantasizing about how would you receive this person's incoming energy is what I want to say. Silver and gold, it is really rare for them to come out together. Specifically because for me, they have a very different energy. Now, like about half an hour before this reading, I was thinking about a birthday party that I'm going to plan in a couple months, and I'm like gathering ideas, and it's like going to be like the theme of it is like sparkle, which is really interesting. And my mind was kind of filled with these kind of sparkly images. And the question, it's very weird that I was thinking about, like, silver is kind of like disco, ball, club type situation, whereas gold is more refined. And these cards just really say that, you know, it says luxury, good fortune, material success, excellence, celebration, milestone, promotion, etc. So Isn't it cute that I started out with, I hope you all have self-love, and here we have the self-love card. Nurture your inner child. That is your assignment. Oh my God, you guys both got 10-10. Oh, wow. Reconciling differences, reunion. 1-1, acknowledge, take responsibility came out. And then we have between you, clear energy blocks, activating the higher chakras, 1-1. So we have 1-0, 1-0, 1-1, 1-1, 1-0, 1-0. That's crazy. And on the bottom of the deck, wow. The Holy Grail code, receive the gift. And I said something about receiving. I said, how would you receive this energy? Sorry, you guys. I don't freak out all that often, but this is weird. Okay. And look, see, she's got these two balls of energy that look like planets. And he's got the sun and the moon here. And you guys are kind of like oppositionally opposed or diagonally opposed. I don't know. Whatever it is. Life is speeding up too. Maybe that's Uranus going into Gemini. You see clearly now. So we have 2, 4, 3, and then 1, 7. Crow spirit. Co-create with spirit. I think you guys are co-creating. Embrace the in-between. I think this in-between was this time that has passed. This walking away and now returning, for those of you that fits, where it's been very... There's been like a real absence where I feel like you kept this flame burning, and they know this, but they also kept manifesting you. It's like they kept the flame burning in their heart without showing it to you, and you kept it burning on the outside, and now I feel like things are about to reverse. And energetically, I don't know why I'm saying this, but it does feel like energetically you have ascended. What cards? It's like I get this feeling that you're like, not in a cocky way, but in a cocky way. Like, I can't believe what I put up with or settled for or allowed or whatever. I tried to move on and it failed to allow. Oh man, I don't think you're ready for what's about to come here. Healing. I think that's healed. I miss your laugh. Scared what their family will say. I miss your smell. Wow, you changed me. You said something, and I think I've said this recently before because I'm hearing it now. It's like an echo. It's like you said something that like echoed within their head for a really long time that they couldn't move on from. And it was almost as if it was like the truth, you know, like it came true, or it wasn't maybe a prophecy, but it was like, how could you know that? How could you? So see, we have Taurus, Sagittarius, knows your twin flames. I don't know what to say. He's being suspicious. I feel like that's going to be that reaction of like, oh, wait a second, you had nothing to say and now you have like all of this stuff to say. We even have the white and the black bird. I imagine sleeping next to you, dreams of you, communication will come soon, and then you have baddie vibes. I do feel like Spirit is saying, like, don't be afraid to, you know, be your body self, whatever that is. Not a fake self, just a real self. Heartbroken watching you. Ascension. Watching you ascend. It's like there's no other one like you. There's just no other one like you. Talking karmic relationship mask. I feel like for many of them, and I felt this for the last couple readings, that there's a karmic that they thought they would either go back to or try to be close to, and like either an old one or a new one. And I do think it was a distraction for a period of time, or maybe it still is, but there's something here that's really important about this. I don't remember what I said. I do remember there was something about time that seemed important, because they're like re-highlighting the clock, but it's like, take your time, but also there's things that are like soul, how do you want me to say that? Like appointments that are appointments for you too. And they will need to be addressed in, I don't know what word you want me to use. The only word that keeps coming up is synchronicity. I don't know what this is. Okay. So some of you have some things that you need to deal with that you've been putting off, and those things are for you to like face fears or ascend or get over something or teach yourself that you're more powerful than this fear. And if that applies to you, you'll know. If not, that's fine. This is nothing scary. Like, it is scary to you, but it's like, I don't want to scare you. That's not what this is for. And it's almost like you're more powerful than all of these things put together. Like, you're more powerful than this, and it's not that big of a deal, but you like have made it into a big deal in your head. And they really want you to know, like, these things happen so you can overcome them and teach yourself that you're really powerful, right? For your ascension. And I mean, it's very cute cards. We have all this cute energy. We have soulmates, ascension, knows your twin flames, missing you, dreams of you, wants to smell you, and it's all these like cute cards. But over here we have a situation where there has been issues that it doesn't feel like have been dealt with him. And I think this is problematic for you. I think you're like, yeah, but you haven't dealt with the things that either drove us apart or were a pattern for you, or, maybe he abandoned you or whatever it was. It's like, we have to address this situation. And they really want you to understand, like, you're having a lot of opportunities for like joy right now, and it's really strange. It's like, it's funny, it's like, it reminds me of when I was younger. When you have something and you like just don't want to face it and you don't want to do it, maybe it's a conversation, maybe it's an appointment, maybe it's just whatever it is. It's like, when you finally get to the courage to do it and you finally do it, it usually is never as bad as you thought it was going to be. And then there's this really like joyful moment that happens out of it. Like a release. And that's kind of what I'm getting. And it says release your ex right there. Maybe some of you have gone through a breakup and it's like you've still been talking to them, like a karmic partner, or you want to break up or something like that. Or you want like a trial separation from them. It could be many different such scenarios, because I see that there's been waiting for the right timing, waiting for am I leaving this for the right reasons, or am I walking away from this job for the right reasons, or am I, like, I feel like you've wanted to get to the heart of what was underneath the desire to leave something behind, if this is you. And what it leads me back to is that I feel like you're trying to honor yourself. And part of what you seem to be wanting to do is return to this lighthearted energy that you used to have. And it's, you know, they kind of brought that up for me. Like, when you're younger and everything is new and fresh and exciting, and you're learning how to do things on your own, you know, and it isn't such like an entrenched, crusty, old relationship where everything's a drag, because what they're kind of showing me is like two figures almost like welded to the floor in a way, or like frozen in time, because there's too much fear to say, hey, let's try something new, or let's, like, why don't you ever flirt with me or take me out? Like, this is not a business relationship or a roommate situation or something like that. If this isn't you, just skip it, because I feel like there's a more of an emphasis here on you, this life speeding up with let your friends help you, and this flirt card in the middle. It's like something's coming back to life in you that's just this really beautiful energy. And it's funny because the last couple of readings, I know they have highlighted the caduceus, and if we turn it like this kind of looks like the caduceus here, right? I feel like you're wanting to heal some things in your life where maybe you have been treading on eggshells or not talking about certain subjects because there was a lot of stuff around them that hadn't been dealt with. Do we need any more? Okay. And I think you're like breaking out of that, and it's so strange how it works. It's like when the feminine gets, you know, palsy, healed, you can't fake it. First of all, you can't fake healed energy. It's just, you know this, and I'm talking about in like connection with the universe and your soul and your twin. You can fake it with other people for sure, but you can't fake it with your twin, and you can't make them move, you know, after the initial honeymoon period without really doing the work. That's my opinion. That's what I've always seen. And, you know, they move when you move forward. And what happens mostly is that we're just sitting there waiting. And then, you know, waiting is codependency. And the opposite of self-love. Look, giving up control. And there's an 8. Find balance. 4 of Wands. 4. Open up. 6 of Cups. Ace. Beautiful. Okay. I think that's 3 of Swords. You have 2 aces and a 5 of Swords. Star and the World on the bottom of the deck with the sacral chakra. I'm sorry, that's not the World, because that's the World. So it feels like to me you're going to have a lot of reward in opening yourself up to new experiences. And it's almost to me like you are finding stability in the instability. card is this? This is the Hanged Man in reverse. That's Strength in reverse. I'm learning. You have the Star in reverse, and then we'll look at that one. Judgment in reverse. I feel like you're letting yourself off the hook in a lot of different ways about the past. And saying, you know what? The only reason that certain things even matter is because I'm keeping them alive in my now moment. And if I decide I want to go back, like, okay, say you're stuck in memories of things that went wrong, decisions you wish you wouldn't have made, choices, whatever it is, wasted time, wasted money, wasted love. Oh, when I start burping, you know, it's the good stuff. They're saying, like, instead of just going back to that and focusing on that, which your brain loves to do because it thinks it keeps you safe, go back to like what you want to experience more of. Go back to a time when you really think you got it right and focus on that. It's like if you're going to fixate on something, don't fixate on the darkness, fixate on the light, and certainly learn your lessons. But I feel like you're embracing this unknown. That's what I'm getting with the Hangman and the Four of Wands here, which I like. Yeah, it's like the more you find comfort in discomfort or stability and instability, the more you have success and the more you grow. And you kind of have, I think this is for some, not all, right? It's like if you tend to really hang on to people and situations and not be able to detach and let go, I think that the more that you let go, I mean, the more that you open yourself up to this energy, the more you're going to feel that just the trying, just the attempts, just the like it's not going to matter so much on the outcome, and you're going to be able to release things easier. See, it says win or lose here, and that's what I'm getting. It's like, let's say, I'll use me. Like, I got into art school. In senior year of high school, my mother passed away, and I got into art school that was up in the middle of California in San Francisco. And because it was such a messy situation, I didn't have tuition and was dealing with a ton of legal stuff from my parents, divorce before that, and her estate. And so I didn't have tuition, and so I had to not go. But it was my dream, right? My dream was to go to art school. And so they're saying, this isn't a really great example because I don't fixate on it, but it has come back into my awareness lately, where what if maybe you go back, instead of like going back to that really, really difficult time that I had where my family was, you know, torn apart, and I was homeless with no money at 17. Why don't you go back to 16 or 15 or 14, where you had art teachers you loved, and you were so creative, and you were experimenting with your clothing and your style, and you're just constantly like going to art museums and doing all these things you loved that got buried, okay? And maybe you don't become a successful artist, but maybe just reconnecting with that energy of experimentation and creativity in your life is going to be a win for you. I hope that helped you. That was really beautiful. Sometimes they ask me to share like personal stories, and I'm like, I do it. But You can apply that to anything in your life. That it could be, you know, a marriage, a job, a career, schooling, a city you moved to. Maybe you felt like you took a wrong direction, and they're like just wanting to say there really are no wrong directions that way. And, you know, I have to kind of bring it up that there could have been family members that maybe hurt you, and they really just want to say, like, don't keep holding on to that pain. You can alchemize that pain. You know, you can use it for art. You can use it to help others. You can use it to, in the way that you decide to treat people. There's a million ways you can use what happened to you for the positive. And I know, like, ChatGPT, sometimes I haven't really been talking to it as much lately, but I feel like there was a period of time where it was just constantly telling me, like, you don't have to stay stuck in this. You can, you know, form a support circle, go get counseling. It would give me all these great ideas. And then I had to come realize, which I think is what a lot of people stops a lot of people, is that, well, if I'm not taking action on this, that's on me, because there are a million ideas, but what I'm choosing to do is, like, stay stuck and not break the chain, right? Ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting the future of play. So this seems to be a very, very important subject. It comes up from time to time where I feel it's very strongly that you need to, like, take your inner child out on a date, take it to the dollar store and let it buy some cupcake batter or coloring books, or, you know, spray and hair dye, or whatever it is, or take it to Claire's, or take it to wherever you want to go to get something that your inner child would love. Buy a new backpack or whatever. I watched, like, a kids movie the other day, and it was really fun. Okay. And it gave me, like, a lot of creative ideas to, like, make a bucket list for summer. And maybe you need to do that. Maybe it's like every week you take your inner child out on a outing, you know? I know it sounds silly, but when you put importance on yourself that way and you keep your word to yourself, like, especially if you're like me and you had a parent that didn't keep their word to you a lot, building that trust up within yourself makes such a difference. Because you'll probably go into a lot of things expecting disappointment, and that's a pattern that we hold, right? And it's a pattern that we hold in love, because that pattern was built from somebody that supposedly loved you. Even if you logically and mentally think, well, that wasn't love, it's still the pattern there that needs to be rewritten. Council of Light, Akasha, Starseed, what lights you up? Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Rites of passage. So this is teenage years and other initiations that you may have felt you missed out on, you know. I was really, like, I felt sad about certain college experiences that I had wanted to have. Fill up your well. Retreat, rest, and refuel. And it feels like right now in Cancer season and summer is kind of the perfect time. And it does feel all over this reading that there's a lot of angels supporting you, and that you may want to ask for some guidance. So let's get a few Ascended Masters. I'm not going to do a ton of advice here. If you do want to get the summer special, it's 3 readings, and it's my thoughts, feelings, and actions in near future, yours and his reading, about kind of going deep into the dynamic between you two, and then what you can heal through it. Marguerite Perret, the mystic of divine love. Love is divine, and I am nothing except love. Oh, we got Isis. It's my favorite card in this deck. The goddess of magic. Sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is prayer that brings me back to life. And that may be something you need to explore right now if you feel like that part of you is kind of shut off. That creative energy, your sacral. The mother of believers, Kadaj. I am spiritually and financially abundant, and I provide heaven and earth for myself. Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like really, oh, we have Freya on the bottom, the goddess of discernment. I spend my time wisely. And I told you there was something about time. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. I feel like maybe some of you just really need to prioritize yourself. There was something else I was going to say. Some of you may want to take like a sensual dance or pole dancing or some kind of really fifth house energy where you're playful and sensual and seductive, and you learn to see yourself in a new way. And some of you may feel like you need to kind of go the opposite of that. You know, you may need to kind of be more childlike, more full of wonder, more full of allowing yourself to see the magic in the world, and more on the mystical side. I'm kind of getting both energies, and some of you may feel like you need to do both, right? We are coming up to Lion's Gate, and this is an important energy. And some of you may have geomancy, that's what I call it. I don't know the real name of it, but it's like you're called to a certain point or a latitude and longitude so you can activate those. Okay, that is all. I thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and I will see you later. Bye.